All right, we're going to get started. Hello, welcome to InView's live demo on creating your IPS session using dual view. My name is Michelle. If you have not met me, welcome. Happy to have you. What we're going to learn today is what is dual view, how to set up your dual view IPS session, how to communicate with your clients utilizing dual view remotely. But in addition to that, why dual view is a game changer. So if you have an account with InView, feel free to log into your admin, go to an event, and we can walk along side by side here while we are getting that set up and running through that. Last week, we did do an IPS session. We created the session and we utilized single view. But like I said, today we're going to talk about dual view. All right, so I am going to turn off my camera, share my screen. Please let me know if you do have any questions, just throw them in the chat, or you can speak up, that's fine. Just unmute and ask the question. I'll try to pause in between and we'll go from there. All right, well, thank you so much. Here we go. Let me know if you do not see my screen. All right. Okay, here we are. Let me just double check and make sure we don't have a chat question. Okay, all right. We're gonna get started here. If you are familiar with InView and you've already started practicing or doing some test sessions, or maybe you have utilized the client galleries and have not done an in-person sales session using InView yet, just follow along. But otherwise, I'm going to explain to you where we are in the InView admin, and we are in the gallery manager. And right here, we're at the event dashboard. So I've already created my in-person sales session. The images are there and ready to go. So now all I have to do is begin the sales session, and that's what we're going to do. A reminder to always begin your sale as begin sales session, and don't just edit an IPS session and just do it from the preview mode. And the reason why is because there's an email tied to every single session that you do, whether it's a client gallery or an IPS session. So all the activity ordering information is all tied to that email address, okay? So I am going to go ahead and select begin sales session. And before I do that, I again just want to double check that there are not any questions in the chat before I start. Okay. All right. We are going to begin the sales session by clicking that button. And we are going to add a new client just because I had already done a single sales session. So we'll do this at test.com. All right. Okay, so I'm going to select this particular client. You have that opportunity to add multiple clients for the same event. So I'm going to go ahead and select next. And here's where I have the option to choose single screen or dual view. So a single screen is what we went over last week, and that is if a photographer and the client is using the same screen, or if you just simply don't mind, showing all the clutter and the behind the scenes work being done during a sales session. Dual view is best if you are projecting on a television screen or maybe a projector screen or for remote sales. This just makes the photographer look really good and really organized, and all the customer has to focus on is the beautiful images that you're displaying. So they don't see all the things that you're doing on the back end and the multitasking utilizing the tools that InView has. So I'm going to show you what dual view looks like and how to run that cell utilizing dual view. Okay, so I'm going to click dual view, and when I do that, it gives you two session option. So you'll see here, there's two links. There is the photographer screen and there is the client screen. Now, if you are in the studio and you're projecting onto a television or a projector screen, you are going to open up a new window in your tab for the photographer screen and for the client screen. And the client screen is what you're going to arrange onto the television or onto the projector screen. Now, if you are doing a remote sale, then you would simply text or email the link to your client so that they can open that up on their end. And of course, it's best used on a desktop or a laptop if you have that. IPS isn't, and dual view is not set up to work on a cellular device. So, all right, I am going to go ahead and open up two tabs in my browser. So I'm going to open up the client view first. And what I'm going to do is show you the sale side by side so you can see what it looks like when you are doing the sales session. So I'm going to just drag this out and I'm going to put it over here just for the moment. So if you notice, it says waiting for the photographer to begin the presentation. So this would be beneficial if you were doing a remote sale and you haven't yet started the session, and it'll be sitting there and waiting for the client so that there's no activity going on. So now I'm going to open up in a new browser window the photographer's view. And when I do that, I now have the two sessions side by side. I'm just going to minimize this for a moment. And I need to make sure that I am still sharing my screen. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, now, if you did not see that, up at the top, you would have seen a full screen. So on the remote sales or on the TV, you would have chosen full screen to fill the screen on the television or the projector, or when they're doing the remote sales, the client would push full screen, and what it would do is minimize the browser window. And so there's that really clean look and feel. Okay, so to the right is the client's view. And I'm just going to drag that over. All right, so here you have the sales session for the photographer's view is on the left-hand side. And if you see these two buttons here, the pink one with the hamburger menu is the menu button. This allows you to go anywhere you want to go during the sales session, as well as the store or any saved items, meaning links to videos, or also any rooms that you may have pre-designed utilizing room view would be there. You also have the keyboard shortcuts handy right on your side. Okay. And then the button right here above that is the dual view button right here. And if you notice, it's now in public mode. And then if you see client view is connected. So this is best if it is a remote sale. You have that option to see if the connection on your client's view is strong and they are connected. So you're not wondering on their end. So if there is an issue with Wi-Fi, then they would need to reconnect. But that's just a little tip for you. All right, now that we're here, I'm going to show you the admin controls. You can turn these on and off. So this gives you total control of what your client sees in person in the studio, or if you are doing a remote sale. And if you look here, there's the live view button right here. So I can turn that on. And I'm going to show you that here in just a moment when we talk about how to communicate with your client doing a remote sale. So those are the controls right here. And so when I'm ready, I can simply just click on my screen and it's going to play through the slideshow, however you set up your IPS session workflow to go. And then when I'm done, I hit continue and it takes me to the initial culling view. Now, this also does allow you to see when I hover over an image, if you notice on the client side, that's what they see, the settings, the ratings. And so when I favorite, they see that as well. Or if I heart it, I can put it in the multiple folders and they don't see those, but you can turn on those controls for them. So it just keeps it very clean and organized when I'm doing my sales session. So all of my favorites, folders and my filters are all located down here at the bottom, and any of the controls for the viewing option is down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to pause for just a moment, make sure that I don't have any questions in the chat. Okay, no questions. All right, good deal. Okay, so once I'm done with that, what is really cool and unique utilizing dual view that I feel is a game changer is having that option to do a remote sale from anywhere. You know, I know some of our competitors have some really cool tools for you, but that's what sets us apart. So during COVID and the pandemic, where people, you know, couldn't come into the studio and they still needed to do those sales sessions, that was an option, and it really saved our photographers during that time. So that was really good as far as dual view goes. But what we've done is we've gone ahead and built in a feature called Live View. And underneath the dual view button, you will see this feature that you can turn on, and it's Live View. Okay, so you'll see it on my side, the photographer side, but also on the client side. So you can join with audio, video, or you can join with just audio. You can pop that out if you want to, if you're using multiple screens. You can also just do the full screen video if you're having a conversation, minimize it if you'd like. But anytime, I'm going to go ahead and say join with video. All right, it's going to ask me to accept that. So I'm going to mute it just so that you don't see that. So when the webcam is plugged in, so I'm going to do it on this side. So then you would see and be able to communicate with your client. Does that make sense? All right, so we knew that was an option or something that was needed because, you know, our clients were using Zoom or FaceTime or Skype to do their sales session. And it was just a little bit clunky because you had to have multiple programs or software applications. And so we went ahead and built that in so that you have the ease of using that remotely. And you're giving your client a service by offering a remote sale if they're not comfortable coming in for a sales session, or maybe there's grandparents that couldn't make it, or maybe it's a destination wedding. So that way you can go home and do the sale that way, and you still have that personal connection with the client. Okay, so that's why I would say that it's a game changer. It's pretty useful, and we're finding that photographers are utilizing that more and more. So back to a studio, I'm just going to switch gears just a little bit. I'm going to turn off the live view feature. And one of the things that I really like about having the clean look and feel of dual view in the studio with my client is because if, let's just say that we went into their favorites for wall art, and they were like, oh, I think I want an 8x10 on the wall. Okay, so let me go back to this filters. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pick this as an 8x10 in room view. So we're gonna display this in room view as an 8x10 on the wall. So if you look here on the client side, I can take this control away, which I think I will leave that up there, but take away the ordering and pricing. Okay, so in room view, it shows that big 8x10 on the wall, right? So while they're talking about that image, I can simply take dual view and put it in private mode. Now that it's in private mode, I can actually change the size, and then I can add additional sizes. So I can build out a wall collection. I don't normally put these images together, but I'm going to show you. So we can add a frame on it. All right. And so now all I have to do is use this little push screen button and it pops over there for them to see. So now you've just taken the 8x10, you've made it a larger size and added 2 more to complete that wall. So now they are upgrading. They're saying, well, you know what? I think I like that much better. That makes sense. That fits the wall. And they say, well, maybe the decision maker isn't there, and so they can't make that decision. You say, well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and share that with them. So you can simply text that room view to that particular client, and they can give authorization to move forward if they need to. So that's just one way of utilizing dual view that I really enjoy. And they don't see the mess of me designing something and they're sitting there waiting on me. Instead, they're focused on the image and talking about that. And then I can filter through and make notes if I want to, and they don't need to see that. So maybe retouching notes, frame notes, order notes. Those are all features in the IPS session that is very useful. I am going to pause here, just double check the chat. Does anybody have any questions currently as far as dual view and how that works during the sales session? So we've talked about how to create a dual view session. We've also talked about how to communicate with your clients during a dual view remote session and why it's a game changer. If you are in the studio and you want to have a nice, clean, prepared presentation for your clients, then I strongly advise you to use dual view. Now, if you are a destination wedding photographer, or maybe you don't have a studio, and you're offering your clients a remote option, then dual view is that option. So she has a question. What are the folder system for your faves? I'd like it, but I didn't get them all. Sure. Okay, so there is, what this is part of the IPS setup. You can do it within the sales session itself, or you can do it prior and create that as a preset. And let me go ahead and put this back in public mode. So what's being referred as the question is the client's favorites folders right here. If you go into the favorites folders, I have preset folders that are called album, gift prints, and wall art. And the reason I do that and recommend that is so that you're not having to do it on the fly, and it just keeps you really organized during the sales session. So when you go in and you hit a favorite, let me go back to all images here. So when you hover over the heart, it gives you the option to put those in a favorite folder. So you can just simply use the favorites. You can create a new folder if you'd like and give it a name, or you can simply preset these like I said. So if they want it in their album and they want an 8x10 gift print of it and they also want a wall portrait of it, you can apply it to all those folders. And so when you go into, per se, room view and you want to create, let's just say, let's go back, and you want to create a wall collection. Now you can go and add images from their favorites folders. So then you could go in and select them so you don't have to go through all those images again and sort through them. So it just looks It makes you a little more at ease when you're doing the sales session. So because you're organized, you know where to go and look for those images, and your clients are like, oh yeah, they are organized. They have all my images right where I want them. And so it's just a great tool to stay organized, like I said. And like I said, also you can preset those. So it's not something that you have to do over and over. So it is a preset. And I strongly advise that. So that is how that works. I hope that answered your question. All right. Is there any more questions in regards to dual view and how that works? Is there many of you that are currently using dual view or remote sales and think this is a game changer? I'd like to hear that. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and step out of here unless there's any other features. One of the things that, we didn't talk about is once we add something to the cart, let's just add something to the cart here. We'll do a 40 by 60. How about that? And we'll add to the cart. And if you notice during dual view, they still do not see any of this work that I'm doing. I slide this over so you can see. So I'm going to view the shopping cart. And now a lot of times what you could do is just keep the pricing off, but turn on the ordering control. So now they can see what they've ordered and talked about it. And then you can talk pricing later after you've added any discounts. Maybe you have some adjustments that you want to add. So maybe there's a discount for keeping their viewing appointment time, or a referral. So let's do referral. And then let's just say $50. So now you're ready to check out, and you can turn on the pricing now if you want to talk about that. So that some people, prefer to talk pricing, some don't. They just want to know, okay, this is what I ordered, we're good. Hand over the credit card and it's done. All right, so it looks like we have a couple of questions. Okay, and the question is, I tried making a wall collection, but when I made them, the sizes were off in preview. Okay, so depending on the room that you are utilizing, also you want to make sure that the dimensions are correct, and we can definitely take that offline and we can work on that together so that it's the right size depending on the rooms that you're designing it for sure. All right. Okay, I am going to, oh, it was just in the pricing. Okay, so the walk, okay. Oh, okay, so not the sizes, but the pricing were off. We definitely need to take a look at that and see kind of where that went off the rails. And I'm happy to help you with that. Absolutely. So I'll touch base with you here afterwards. All right. So as far as dual view goes, your IPS session utilizing dual view. Again, we talked about communication. We talked about all the features for game-changing opportunity utilizing dual view, but also what dual view's purpose was and what that means. So I'm going to go ahead and share something in the chat. I'm going to show you. I have in my browser here. That is, I minimized it. Okay, we're going to go back to the admin here. All right, and I'm going to put a link in the chat. And what that is for is help articles. So if you are utilizing dual view or getting ready to do an IPS session and you have questions, I want to make sure that these help articles, let me share my screen so you can see it, but I'll also put a link in there. I'm going to go ahead and share really quick. Again, thank you for your patience. Okay, so right here, anywhere you are in in view on that page, should be a little help. You can type in any type of question here. So let's just say dual view. It's going to pull up anything that pertains to dual view. So how to run an IPS session utilizing dual view. There's videos, there's articles over here. I'll put this in the chat so you can utilize that. Okay, but just know that that's there and available for you. You can also call our customer service team. They are simply amazing. And I'm happy to help. So I'm going to turn off my camera. Does anybody have any questions? Let's make sure. Have any questions before we end and close? Again, I thank you so much for joining us for our live demo. Next week, we're going to talk about how to take those ratings and the favorites from the sales session and pull those into a client gallery and how to utilize those in the client gallery. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. So if you are not a part of our Facebook group, it's your InView space. Please join. That's where we advertise kind of what we're doing in our live demos, any feedback, but also a lot of camaraderie with the other photographers. If you have questions about InView and how they're utilizing it, it could be a number of things, but it's a great place and resources for everyone. All right, I'm going to end unless there's any other questions, and I will reach out to you in regards to your wall collections and how that works. And until next time, thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Take care.